Hi, I'm Roddy Martin, Vice President of Product Marketing for Supply Chain at Oracle. And I have with me Dave Aquino. I'm going to let him introduce himself. He has an interesting combination of roles, which I think is fairly typical in small, medium-sized businesses. So, David, welcome.
Thank you, Roddy. Glad to be here. I'm Dave Aquino. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and CIO for Barco Uniforms based in Gardena, California.
What does Barco Uniforms do, and how is supply chain relevant?
So Barco Uniforms is an 88-year-old family business based out of Gardena in South Los Angeles, fourth generation running the business, and we design, manufacture, fulfill, and manage relationships in the corporate identity business as well as medical scrubs. So we support customers like KFC and Wendy's, as well as have brands like Skechers and Grey's Anatomy in our medical scrubs business.
I would imagine, given the nature of the clothing and textile business, that you have to spend time in all interesting parts of the globe, and that must have some challenges in a supply chain sense.
Yeah, the apparel and manufacturing business is heavily outsourced. So having a compliant, contractually obligated supply chain, whether it be Vietnam or Indonesia or Madagascar, means that we have to have really strong relationships, a lot of visibility, a confidence that they're going to deliver and still get great cost, great quality.
That's great. So Dave, how does cloud appeal to a small organization? If you're a massive, multi-global, multinational organization, distributed, cloud makes a lot of sense because you can tie one platform and start connecting to everything. What's different in a small, medium-sized business between 100 and 200 million?
I think the amazing thing about joining a family-owned business, there may be an aversion to technology investment over the years, and having services available allows us to make step changes or quantum leaps forward in productivity and capability that we couldn't have done before, couldn't have been afforded. So being able to pick off specific solutions and use them as services means that we can try, we can play, we don't have to make huge ROI decisions. It's a lot less risky in terms of investment, and that makes it very attractive to be able to add elements or solutions to our portfolio.
No, I mean that's an interesting perspective. Big companies would look outside for those services. You, on the other hand, can just rent those services from a vendor, and so that's quite a valuable way of reducing complexity in your business. In terms of culture and what's different when you're the CIO and the COO and the Chief Supply Chain Officer, you obviously have a much smaller leadership team. Is it easier or harder?
To me, it's been a wonderful experience so far in that the autonomy and authority is fabulous. I like talking to myself, so I get to wear both hats, and being able to justify the functionality requirements while also respecting the technology, complexity, and needs, I honestly think is a very comfortable and more efficient model. The discussions usually range between having a discussion with my CEO and CEO and CFO, and be able to say, one or two conversations, this is what we need to do and why, and they're usually on board, whereas it's not the politics that you'd normally deal with in terms of entrenched culture, behavioral norms, or budgetary protectionism. I'm really enjoying the model that we've got now.
When you said talk to the CIO, I said you really do talk to yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Dave, thank you very much. I look forward to having you on the panel. I think one of the areas that I really look forward to talking to Dave about, and that is, how do you scale? You've worked for Unilever, you've worked for Pepsi. How do you scale those huge organizations down to something that's between 100 and 200 million? What's useful, what's not useful? Because if you overdo it in a small company, you're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No, I look forward to that, and I think it's been a fun experience to take that down and make it bite-sized for a solution that's going to be financially appropriate for our size and type of business.